Welcome back. In this installment, we'll look at the very important single responsibility principle with some Dart code examples. Let's dive in. Welcome back. Let's have a look at solid principles of object-oriented programming practice session. In this session, we're going to look at single responsibility principle, also known as SRP. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at a class that violates the SRP. So here we have a class user, and as you can see, the user has name and an email. The user then is initialized with this name and email using a constructor. Then we have a function or method called save user to database. We obviously don't show the code because this exercise is more about refactoring rather than writing actual functionality. And then we have another method which is called show welcome message. And what that would do is basically just print something to the user. And this is it. This is the extent of this very, very simple user class. So we have a single class that has some data and it has two functions or two methods. The question here is, this class actually violates the single responsibility principle. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you a chance to pause the video and think about it. Think about how does this class violate the single responsibility principle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you next a number of hints that will help you to solve this problem. Okay, so pause the video if you want, but otherwise I'm going to go into hints right now. And the hints are as follows. Identify different responsibilities in the given code. So look at this code and ask yourself, what are the responsibilities of the user class? Next, think about creating separate classes for each responsibility that you have identified. And finally, ensure that each class has only one reason to change. So basically, what we're doing here is we're refactoring the user class into a set of classes that follow the single responsibility principle from the family of solid principles. So again, I'm going to give you the solution right now. You can pause the video if you wish so that you can figure it out on your own. Otherwise, let's continue with our code. Here's the solution. Notice first of all that we have used the user class from before, but we have made this class only responsible for holding data. In other words, this is a data object. Next, we have created a user repository class, which actually saves the user to the database. So what we have done is we have taken the responsibility of saving the data away from the user class and created a new class that would only be responsible for that. And we also have created a class called userView, which basically only deals with the aspect of showing something about the user. In this case, it's a welcome message. So let's have a look at a slightly deeper analysis of what we did here. So the original code violates the single responsibility principle because the user class had more than one responsibility. It was holding user data, it was saving user data to the database, and it was also displaying a welcome message to the user. This makes the class harder to maintain and modify in the future because it has many responsibilities. In the refactored solution, what we have done is we have separated the responsibilities into three different classes. We have a user class, we have a user repository class, and we have a user view class. The user class is responsible for just holding the user data. User repository class is responsible for saving user data to the database, and user view class is responsible for displaying a welcome message to the user. And that's basically it. So I do hope that you have found this informative and it helped you a little more with understanding the S in the solid, which is the single responsibility principle. I'm going to see you in the next lecture or practice session. Do have a look at the examples of SRP in other languages such as Python and Java in this playlist, as they will give you more exposure to this principle. In the next installments, we'll be looking at the open-close principle. See you soon. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and ring the bell to get notified about our latest content. Thanks for watching.